Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel, Retirement After Heart Transplant. If this is your first time here, my name is Alan, and I appreciate you stopping by. It's been cold since I started this channel a few weeks ago. We are in the middle of winter time here in South Carolina, and we've had an especially cold winter, so I've been inside recording. It's like 65 today, and I decided to come outside on the back porch and record instead and enjoy this nice weather. The downside is a little noisy because we do have a highway not too far from the house, so apologize for the extra noise. At any rate, today I was going to talk a little bit about packing for a cruise after a heart transplant. I'm sharing this for anyone who feels like life kind of stops after a heart transplant. I guess I could say practically everything I'm talking about on this channel has to do with that. But life definitely doesn't stop after a transplant. Living with a transplant requires caution and extra planning, than you would have been accustomed to. But a full life is definitely possible for most people. Not all people, and if there are transplants listening who uh, have not been able to have that full life, I'm really sorry. I've been very blessed and been able to have that full life so far. I'm about 13 years out past transplant. At any rate, I thought I would talk about the cruise issue and how, packing for that kind of thing, preparing for that kind of thing is different, having had a heart transplant. My wife and I have traveled a lot as we've been together for these past nearly 50 years now, but we've never cruised until 2025, last year, almost about a year ago. It was in February of 2025. Never went on a cruise, just chose not to for whatever reason. Last year we went with some friends, actually a fellow heart transplant, and had a blast. It was an 8-day cruise to the Caribbean islands, and we really enjoyed it. We decided that this year, to celebrate our 50th year together, we'd do another longer cruise. So we're going to be taking a 10-day cruise also to the Caribbean, a little different part of the Caribbean this time, but nonetheless. So I was going to just talk a little bit about how that looks, after transplant. So, when I'm traveling anywhere, but particularly on a cruise where you are literally pretty far away from any additional help that you might need, you're in an ocean. It's not to say you can't get help in an emergency. You can, but it's not the same as if you're on land somewhere. So you got to keep these things in mind. For me, what that means for one thing is I definitely pack a lot of extra meds. Uh, I take 10 weeks worth of meds when I go. That's all I've got. I've got 10 boxes. Each one has a week's worth of meds. And I just kind of cycle through them and rotate them, and refill them. I take all 10 with me when I go on the cruise. Why? You're only gone 10 days. Well, you never know. Better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So that's how I do that. As I've mentioned before in these videos, I'm also a diabetic and I'm insulin dependent. And I take extra insulin and testing supplies naturally for the same reason. You're a long way from anywhere when you're out in the middle of the water. Um, that means, in terms of the insulin, that I've got to be prepared for refrigeration. So I have a little container that you can carry insulin pens, which is what I use. I don't use hypodermic needles. I use the pens. Uh, you can carry these pens, extra pens, in a cooler type container. It's round, cylindrical shape. And so I take several weeks worth of insulin with me. I don't really know exactly how much, but I'd be able to get by for probably 6 or 8 weeks, and bring that with me. Fortunately, on a cruise ship, there's a refrigerator in your room. If you request it, they'll bring you a medical refrigerator. They'll swap out the normal fridge and bring you a medical refrigerator instead, which is designed, I guess, to be colder for storage of medications. I did not do that in February last year, and it was fine. It was plenty cool enough. So I'm planning to do the same thing this year. Um, when I'm traveling to get to the cruise port and to get from the port onto the boat, all of my meds are with me. if you've never been on a cruise or maybe even flying on an airplane or whatever, when you travel, uh, let's just focus on the cruise. When you get to the cruise port and you get ready to get on the boat, most of your bags will be taken by the staff and brought to you. Actually, they'll be delivered to your room. It's smart to have a bag and some extra stuff with you when you get on the ship in case for some reason your bag doesn't get there in time that afternoon. That did not happen last time for us. Everything went smoothly and it got there on time. But so all those meds that I just talked about, they'll be with me. I'm not going to send them in on another bag. At any rate, other things that you have to think more about, I guess, if you're immunosuppressed like I am after heart transplant: extra hand sanitizer, wipes, a few masks. I don't wear masks very often. Never have, even during COVID. After my transplant, for the first couple of months, I wore a mask quite often because you're extremely susceptible to infection at that stage after a transplant, and for rejection of your heart. So I did, and I keep masks around. When I'm doing yard work here at our house, we have a lot of yard to work on. We've got about 2.5 acres that we have to keep up. Another 10 that's in forest. And so, for example, if I'm cutting grass in the summer, it's super dusty. I'm going to wear an N95 mask. It's not so much because of my heart transplant, but just because I don't like the dust. A lot of people do that. It has nothing to do with a heart transplant, right? My transplant team would recommend, with any kind of exposure to a lot of dust, that I wear a mask. Honestly, I don't. I live now in a place that is out in a rural area, surrounded by farm fields, flat land. It's the coastal plain of South Carolina. And, when the farmers are out doing their work and plowing and whatnot, there's a lot of dust sometimes. I'm not going to stand out here in it when it's around. I'll probably go in the house, but I don't wear a mask. So, anyway, that's another thing you take. More than most, a person who has had a transplant would want to take plenty of UPF 50 clothing, wide brim hat, extra sunscreen, and maybe spend more time in the shade than you otherwise would have while you're on the boat or otherwise. And there's plenty of opportunities to do that on a cruise ship. So I guess that's it. This is a short video. I just wanted to touch on that. We're preparing for that cruise now. We're 28 days from embarkation, according to the Princess app on my phone. It's Princess Cruise Lines is who we're sailing with. So we're starting to pack and think about all those things and get it together now. So I thought I would share that briefly. If you found this video enjoyable or interesting, I'd appreciate it if you'd like it. And I'd also appreciate it if you'd subscribe to my channel. And thanks for stopping by. Until next time, bye-bye.
Mm-hmm.